recognition of Reconciliation Week, we spoke to some screen and media students at Eora TAFE about why they are studying screen and media and how they think Aboriginal people are currently being represented by the media. What made you want to study screen and media?
Hard to explain, I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not, so that's kind of the reason why I did it.
Okay.
Because when I got in, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this, and then I started doing it. It's really good. I really enjoy it. So the fact that I didn't know what I was gonna do kind of made it exciting to do.
I originally started screen and media to get people's truths out. I'm not that interested in doing films, as in Hollywood movies, but mostly to get people's truths for their stories.
Are you satisfied with the way that the media is portraying Aboriginal people at the moment?
Nah, I don't. Not at all, really. There are obviously there's some forms of media, obviously on our TV, but that's obvious that they're going to try and they're going to represent us how we want to be represented. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty difficult when you see Indigenous people being misrepresented.
No, this is part of why I want to record people's truths. I've found that through people's bias in editing that can be portrayed, Aboriginal people can be betrayed through the media. Of course, they'll always put in their dirty comments. If it's one Aboriginal person's done something, they'll always bring it back to only 2% of the population, but 95% of the incarceration rate. So always portraying Aboriginal people as criminals and a bad connotation.
Do you think it would be beneficial to have more Aboriginal people working in the media?
Yeah, I do. But it's not like, oh yeah, you need to do this. You're going to have to find Indigenous people who are interested in it, mm-hmm. and people who want to make a change. You can't just, just put people in there. Just be like, yeah, we've got an Indigenous guy here. We're not bad. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. Yeah. You got to have people who want to do it and who are interested and want to make a change.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, for sure. We do have a lot of Aboriginal people working in media, mainstream media, and not only just NITV. There's also Paul Kennedy from ABC Directly. He's also film producer as well as reporter. And there's a lot of Aboriginal people working behind the scenes. We've had students from Eora working with NITV, cameraman, so behind the scenes more.
Do you think it's important for people working in the media to undergo cultural training if they are telling Aboriginal stories?
Yeah, if they're portraying Aboriginal stories, of course. I reckon it's really important because, they could have really good intentions with what they want to do, but if they do something that's wrong in the eyes of, say, an elder, it's really it's really damaging.
Well, I think that anybody working in any industry should go through Aboriginal cultural training, but definitely for sure, because there is a lot of stigma, a lot of bias, a lot of ingrained racism and a lot of ignorance without realising what's taken place. So yeah, definitely cultural education should be mandatory, really.
Should there be more coverage of Aboriginal stories in the media?
It's more about the stories that they choose to report on. That's what I think. Maybe they don't do that. Maybe they just do the whatever story comes to them. But I feel like they'd rather use bad Indigenous stuff that's in the news, some Aboriginal kid robbed a store or something. I feel like they'd rather use that in the media than an Indigenous person doing something good.
Yes, definitely. Unfortunately, again, media portrayal, they like to hone in on the negatives. Of course, every time there's something positive, unless it's to do with sport, unless it's something they can generate $1 from, promote, something that somebody can make money, that of course we end up getting shunned away. It's what's popular. So it is always that difficult area of media, yeah.
What do you think is the benefit of sharing Aboriginal stories in the media?
It probably wouldn't change a lot of people, wouldn't change heaps of perspectives, but as long as it's changing some people's perspectives, it's good, because there's a lot of people who use the news as the most reliable thing in the world when they're talking about Indigenous people. if there's more stories about Indigenous people doing good things, people are going to be like, oh, there's a lot of Indigenous people doing really good things lately. So I feel like it would help.
Well, sharing the knowledge and breaking down barriers of ignorance. And then for me, always thinking of future generations, to clear things up for the Aboriginal people, the young Aboriginal people coming through today, so at least they don't have to face stigmas in the future. To avoid stigmas is always beneficial.
It is important for us as journalists to be thinking about the ways we are representing Aboriginal stories and how this can be improved. By looking at the ideas being explored by media students at Eora TAFE and other similar colleges, we can be hopeful about the future of reconciliation within the Australian media.